Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin, and this is a weather report. I'd like to talk about the weather health stresses for August 3rd, 2026. We keep additional graphics at tpatw.com. We're also maintaining a storefront on Amazon. Looking at the surface map for Monday, high pressure dominates almost all of the country, and real heat, still dominating the south and almost all of the west. But we do have two active frontal systems, one stretching from northern Minnesota across South Dakota through the middle sections of Nebraska, down toward really Cheyenne or Denver, and then back up to Cheyenne. A next cool front, a rather active weather front stretching all the way from Bangor to Asheville, all the way down to Mobile in the south, with lots of unsettled weather up and down the easternmost portions of the Appalachians. Looking at our vitality index, that measure of activity which will have some impact on human health, and you can see we still have the monsoons pushing into Arizona and New Mexico. We still do have something going on here in the northern Rockies, and lots going on here behind that cold frontal system up in the northern plains. We still have a lot of active weather along the eastern seaboard and the Gulf. A little bit of something trying to pull away from Maine. Looking at pressure change, rising pressure across northern Idaho, across almost all of Montana, northern Wyoming, North Dakota, and the westernmost portions of South Dakota. We also have rising pressure across Indiana, Ohio, into western Pennsylvania, touching the southernmost portions of Michigan and picking up the northernmost portions of Kentucky. We do have some falling pressure here in Maine. Temperature change. While, of course, heat is the issue for most of the country, the heat is there already. We do have a final surge of heat up onto the westernmost sections, coastal Oregon, coastal Washington, up into Vancouver, so that will be a shock. Note that we finally have some cooling temperatures here across Montana, Wyoming, and the Dakotas, especially North Dakota, the westernmost sections of South Dakota. Looking at the change in dew point, we do have falling dew point temperatures here in the northern Rockies, a little bit of rising dew point temperatures here in the high plains. Note that vapor pressure not showing a heck of a lot, just a little bit of drying behind that frontal system. So we have the active front here to the east on the coast, a little bit of drying right behind the front. Instability, nowhere near as much as we've seen in the last few days, but still some instability moving into southern Arizona. A little bit of instability along the southernmost reaches of that front, the western portions, and then quite active here in the middle Atlantic states, again with that front. Looking at the change in oxygen availability, you can see that we have the risk of migraine here across southern Idaho, well into Wyoming, almost all of Montana, lots of North Dakota, and the westernmost fringes of South Dakota. We also have a risk of migraine across Ohio, West Virginia, western Pennsylvania, upstate New York toward Vermont, a touch of instability on the North Carolina Outer Banks. We have a risk of asthma and arthritis here in the westernmost sections of Oregon, Washington, up in Vancouver. Another area of asthma and arthritis stress from Oklahoma, Kansas into Nebraska, and the easternmost half of South Dakota. Also have some asthma and arthritis risk across the Michigan Upper Peninsula. And interesting, we have an asthma and arthritis risk across Maine in the northeast and central and southern Florida in the southeast. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated. If you hurt, tell us where you're located.